Okay.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Aarti, a first year PGDM student in marketing analytics, and along with me, I have my team members Mansi, Khyati, and Abbas. So, we are here to bring you a really insightful podcast about the amazing minds and efforts behind successful businesses. So, today we are delighted to introduce you to our guest, Mr. Mohit, who is the founder of a successful brand Movin Air, a Faridabad based brand footwear that offers stylish, comfortable, and high quality footwear for modern consumers. The brand operates through both online and offline channels and focuses on delivering trendy, lightweight, and affordable footwear, especially for youth and working professionals. So, Mr. Mohit also has a really strong educational background. He has completed his BTech in computer science and later pursued his MBA from Symbiosis Pune. So, by combining this technological knowledge and business expertise, he had successfully built and grown a, the brand Movin Air as an emerging name in the footwear industry. So, without further delay, let's begin our conversation and learn more about his entrepreneurial journey and challenges and also the insights from the world of business. So, hello, sir, welcome.
Hi Arti, how are you?
I'm great, sir. How are you?
Absolutely fine. Thank you for
So,
arranging
since
this.
we are,
And
yeah,
yeah, please go ahead. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so sir, since we are PGDM students and we are yet new in this business background, we have a lot to learn, especially from great minds and experienced people like you in the industry. So we'll be asking you a few questions related to the strategy, the brands, the business market, and we'll be really glad for you to guide us throughout this journey. So shall we begin with the questions?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, so my first question from you would be, can you please briefly explain how your business works and what value you try to provide to your customers?
Okay, so I own a shoe brand which is having a name of Movin Air. I started this brand almost 6 years back, and the thought behind launching this brand is that we can provide a very comfortable shoes, everyday shoes to people, and that is how we tried solving the problem. So if you just notice the name Move in Air, this name is coming out from a thing like move in the air, and that is how we have
Yeah.
created a tagline called comfortable everywhere. So our focus is like we can provide a good stylish shoes which a person can wear every day, and even if they go to party, they go to a normal lifestyle, they are chilling around, they can have it and they stay comfortable. So that is the vision and the purpose we have, and that is how we are solving everyone's need nowadays.
So I agree. Like as you said, the name moving here. It like when I heard the name, I instantly think of the first word that came in my mind was comfort. Like the brand name itself shows moving here. Like it shows the comfort and the experience that the customers will feel. So the name itself is a really great choice, I would say. And so my next question would be when you started the business, what was your main vision or goal, and has it changed over the time, like the time when you started, and since it has grown over time? So how is it now?
So see, we had a proper thought process, like we're gonna help people in terms of solving their needs. And I've been to multiple fashion brand, and my entire experience into marketing and developing new products. So I always think when I'm also using shoe, and it's a because I'm a 6 feet high people, and I carry a good weight. I love to go to gym, so I always feel like carrying a leather shoe every day, it's little not cool, it's not comfortable. So you need something which has good cushion, which should has good quality, and even the kind of style, maybe loafers and something which can even go with your formals, casual, and maybe the jeans and denims as well. So that is the thought, that we create some all-in-one package. And most important thing is somewhere the cost as well, because if you go to Skechers for having a better comfortable pair, it costs around 10K, 12K kind of amount. But if you come to us, we try to manage everything within 2 to 3K amount. So that is how it's a value proposition for the people, and that is the thought for doing it. And when you talk about the challenge and everything, so the thought is always same, like we have been serving people with good product, good quality, good comfort. And I don't think it is changed as of now, but yes, it is even evolved and more extended for us, because we face a good demand. And the best version of is like, people call us, people talk to me separately on LinkedIn and all, and they say, no, moving here is my daily routine. It's a part of their daily routine, and that is the biggest achievement I feel we have achieved. So I think it's on a good note. We are moving forward accordingly.
Yeah, truly agreed. And as you said, the design as well as the comfort and experience that you try to combine. I actually went through the company's profile, and I myself looked at the products, and the products are really eye catching and stylish as well. So it's true that products features as well as looks both can be maintained at the same time, and your brand is a really true great example for that. So moving on to the next question, sir. Today, what does success look like to your business?
So, Arti, being very honest, success has no definition. So, for me, numbers, revenues is not success. I personally feel, if we are able to help people, and we are able to solve any problem, and if people say that, I bought your shoes like, 6 months back, it's still with me now, I have some more occasions and I want to, buy some more shoes. I've even recommended your shoes to some of my friends and relatives. That is where I feel a satisfaction. That is where I feel success for me. Rest is just numbers. Now we are growing. We started with limited resources, blue collar and white collar resources. Right now we are growing. We even expanded our operations to United States, North Carolina. We are even registered in Canada, Vancouver as well. So this is a part of success. But most important thing, what I feel is we are fulfilling the need of our consumer, and we are giving a better experience to our consumer every day in terms of comfort and style.
So that's really great to hear because you are keeping your customers the center of the brand, and everything revolves around the customers. I believe this is one of the major factors that your brand has grown this much because you have kept your customer as your priority throughout this whole time. So it's really great to hear from you. And I would like to call Khyati to ask you further questions. So Khyati, can you please move forward?
Thank you, Aarti. So, indeed, that was a great discussion. So, now I would like to take the discussion further. Let's move to the second section of this podcast that is related to the strategy formulation. So, sir, my first question to you is what are the factors that you keep in mind while formulating a strategy so it aligns with the goals, mission, and vision of your organization?
That's a great question, Kathy. Because for any business, strategy plays a very important role. And if you don't have a right strategy, any business can go down. Oh, it's very simple. So when we talk about the goals, we see, as I'm repeating it, because it's the main factor, our consumer a pain area, which is the comfort. So we always thought about, we have to give a proper comfort, proper lightweight shoes, proper cushion to the people. And if we have some goals, maybe some X numbers we are focusing with the vision, so we have to have a right strategy. Right strategy goes with the market segmentation, okay, proper market research, proper knowing the need of your consumer, what trend is going on, everything has to be mapped. And then you plan a strategy, and even strategy has to be divided with the business and the marketing. When I say business, it means you cannot sell, Chelsea boot in summer in maybe South. That because the weather of South is entirely different and the weather of North in India is entirely different. So that is how we sorry, I have cough. That is how we plan the entire strategy, how we are planning the product, and what is the market we are going to tap, and even what kind of target audience we are planning. So that is how we plan our strategy, and going month by month, we achieve numbers, and that is how we just scale it accordingly.
Indeed, I agree with you, sir. If you have to sustain in the business, you need to understand that what are the needs of the customer and what are the trends. So following customer is one of the great decision that following customers' comment is dynamic in nature. How do you identify the strategic opportunities of your business that are in front of you?
Kathy, can you just repeat the question? Your voice was broken. Is it with me, with everyone as well?
So there was network issue actually, even we couldn't hear.
No problem. Kathy, could you please repeat your question? I could not hear that.
Am I audible now? Hello?
Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question was, as the business environment is dynamic in nature, how do you identify the strategic opportunities that are in front of your business to grow?
Oh, you asking again a wonderful question. So the answer I would say is listening. Okay, which means yeah, absolutely, every business is dynamic, and especially in the fashion brand, cause people change their trends, people change their style, taste, and it's a dynamic industry. So what we do, we listen. And when we say listen, listening is all about your consumer experiences, their feedbacks, what's going into the market, everything we would have to listen. And once we see that, okay, yeah, these are the new product we should launch. Because when we talk about launching new product, we cannot go by assumptions. There should be some data which we capture by doing multiple market research, capture the feedback, and even talk to a consumer on online offline portals places. And that is how we try to be in the game, launching new products with the season, with the trend, and which can actually give the right comfort at the right place so that they can enjoy their daily life. That's the thought behind it.
I agree, sir. If you need that the customer should be loyal to your brand, they should feel that they are being heard and they are being understood, and the business are changing their products and services according to their need, so that they should feel inclusive to your business. So that was great insight. Now I would like to
Absolutely.
move forward. Yeah, I would like to move forward with the last question of this section. So, how do you measure the success rate of implemented strategy? What KPIs do you keep in mind while measuring the results?
So, see, again, success is all about, it's not only about numbers. You're saying something, Kathy, you're on mute. Okay. So as I said, for me, success is not all about numbers. It's about the happiness of our consumer. It's about the experience of our consumer, and we always think, cause by end of the day, my product is directly connected to the consumer, and if they are not happy, we cannot be in the market. So, but yes, your point is good. Like if you talk about strategy, uh, converting or not converting. So there are certain KPIs which we have to follow. Like one is what are the sales we are focusing, what are the revenue we have captured, then what is the customer acquisition cost we are mapping, then what are the return consumer we are having, how many people are coming back and buying, and then what are the final feedback and overall impact on the marketing. Like if we plan X numbers on marketing, what kind of outcome we actually received out of that. So these are basically the KPIs which I always look forward. And then we try to map the entire strategy, and we even try to mix smaller targets. We definitely have a yearly target, but it is divided into the quarterly one, so that we can actually check our KPI and we can actually map we are into the right direction or not. So that is how we try to figure it out.
Well said, sir. I think that if a business need to be successful, they should focus on KPIs. I guess this is one of the reasons that Movin Air is this successful right now. So thank you. That was really great discussion. Let's move to the next section of this podcast that will be conducted by Mansi.
Sure, sure.
Good evening, sir. I'm Mansi Katyar. So I'll be moving forward with the next session of this podcast. So as we now understood how strategy is formulated for the business, I would like to explore how the moving air builds competitive advantage and actually implements those strategies in the market. So basically, my first question to you is Once your strategy is formulated, the next challenge is creating a strong competitive position, as the footwear market is already very like there are already very competitors in the market. So how would you stand out with your company's competitive advantage, and how does it align with your long term vision and customers value proposition?
Hi, Mansi. That's a great question again. So, Mansi, when I started this brand, people did tell me, Mohit, you will be competing with some major player in the industry like Liberty, Bata, Hush Puppies. Many brands are there in the shoe segment, small, big, and all. But we accepted the challenge. We were very clear with day one, like, we are going to solve a problem. It's not that we are providing another brand. We have a purpose. It's a purpose driven brand that we'll be providing comfortable shoe to everyone for everyday life. That is the thought behind it. Okay, so when I come to the competition environment, Resh, yes, you're very right. So we follow few, I think, parameters. First is customer experience, right? What experience we are giving to the consumer, what they are feeling, are they feeling comfortable or not, is it giving the right styling to the consumer or not. Second is brand consistency, which means when we initiate, we are very clear as a brand. We are very clear in the thought that we are only talking about comfort and styling, and that is how whenever it's been almost 6 years, and now we are in the international market as well. So we are very clear that whenever people think about Movin Air, it's about the comfort, it's about the style, it's about you, it's not about me, it's about you. And that is how my entire research team work on. We try to talk people and find all the trending styles, and we designed a lot of we what do you say season wise styles, and that is how we deliver. And the last and most important thing is scalability, because we don't drive any strategy which is a one day strategy or maybe a short term strategy. We always think if we are planning a strategy maybe for a product segment, it has to help us as a business into long term as well, and for the consumer as well, which they feel connected. Which means if we have created a go series for a product, then they would definitely looking forward go series 1.0, right? Or maybe Go Series Plus. And that is how we try to map things in a long term, and that is how we can even scale the business accordingly. So this is the entire thought behind it.
Very well said, sir. As we all know that if you're going in a competitive market, so it's very necessary to understand your customer very well, so that you can basically offer your customer what they actually want. So, moving forward to the next question, the footwear industry is highly competitive in nature, with both branded players and local manufacturers as well. What strategic positioning or differentiation in strategy do you use to stand out in the Faridabad market itself?
Yeah. So see, again, everything comes with a study. And when we talk about, even for, we are in India, we have altogether a different strategy, which we call reason wise strategy. Okay. And now, if you are asking particularly for Faridabad, see, understand, we have to understand one thing. Like right now, maximum businesses are moving from metros to tier 2 and tier 3, just because it is just because it is a tier 2 and tier 3 segments. Our markets are very popular right now in terms of demand generation. Reason, the kind of money they are earning, the kind of infrastructure is being developed. Let's talk about, initially all the players, all the brand were focusing on metro like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad. But now the new segments, new areas are Indore, Bhopal. you know there are cities which is tier 2, tier 3, Hapur, Meerut. Faridabad is still, it's very developed. So what we are talking about is how people and infrastructure is moving to tier 1 to tier 2 and even tier 3. And if you go and maybe analyze tier 3 market, you will be able to figure out a lot of brands have presence in tier 3 market just because they have demand over there. people have earning capacity so that brand can sustain. So that is how, even for Faridabad even as very mature audience, they have a altogether a different taste. It's a combination of millennial and Gen Z, which now both understand the comfort. Initially it was not, it was more about like, if it is costly it's good. That was the thought behind it, but now it's not like that. People understand the value of a product. So we created a complete USP, is the comfort, right, and the style, and that is how, by the god grace, we are doing pretty well in the market.
Yes, so this is the correct point. Even I belong from a tier three city, and I have seen a very much boom in the market. Like there are new brands coming up with the new ideas. So yeah, they are doing very well in the market as well. So my next question to you, having a strategic is already a one part, which is already a very important part, but execution is a real challenge. How do you translate your strategic goals into day-to-day operations, and how do you align your team, resources, and processes to a successful implement of that strategy?
So you're absolutely right, and actually, it's a great question, because yes, any business, even when you talk about B2C product business, they have a lot of challenges, right? And when you talk about having business not in one city, multiple cities, so your challenges become a little bigger, just because you have to carry an inventory, you have to manage the inventory on all outlets, even in your warehouses, and whenever you are planning for international, that is how you have to manage. So before even the inventory, we have to focus on the product quality. So that is, as I said, so our first focus is consumer only. So we always try to make a better experience for the consumer, and that is how first level the challenge comes, like we have to uh, maintain a best quality standards for the products, and that is how we keep monitoring it on a multiple level, so that the kind of product quality materials we are using, it is the right match for a daily life and the comfort. And then there are multiple, like managing the inventory definitely is there, and then managing the demand supply. Sometime it happens, some area or some particular stock is sold out, then you have to refill it on a urgent scale. So we have to manage the warehouse accordingly. So there's a lot of challenges are there, and then most important challenge is, again, it's with the consumer. Like, you have to understand your consumer and the demand, because this market is very fast pacing, because every third month, every 6 month, the designs, people are looking for new designs. Even we have retail outlets and online space, people come, and my managers usually, store manager usually tell me, sir, people are looking for more designs, right? So at times there are spaces, there are definitely a product segment where people are looking for such things, but still they are looking for new stuff, new designs, better stuff. So these are the challenges which we keep understanding. Again, listening is the very important point for my entire team, for my research team, marketing team. We listen what they want, and we try to cover and deliver. That's the thought.
Yes, are very true. Listening to your customer and applying it, it's a very great thing to apply on it, and moving towards what your basically customer want and what is the perception of the customer towards your brand or a product. So moving forward, that gives us a great understanding of how strategy moves from planning to execution. Now let's shift the discussion towards risk management, change, and the learning that comes from strategic discussion. So
Sure.
now, as Asghar Abbas will ask you the further question.
Sure.
One second, sorry to
Good evening, sir.
interrupt, sir. Actually, the one second, Abbas. So actually, the meeting is scheduled for 14 minutes only. I don't have the subscription, so meeting will automatically end in 10.
Sure, no problem.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, Asgar.
My question is, what is the biggest risk you face in running your business?
So, biggest risk is obviously in the product business. The biggest risk is whatever you're making, will that be the right fit for the market, right? Because it's not like whenever you create a design, you don't create only 5 pieces, 10 pieces. You create basis, the expectation of the consumer. You have to create good volume. So risk is first, whatever you are developing has to be in the market and has to go, successfully. So this is first. Then the kind of inventory you have, is it scalable, you're able to do. Then third is demand supply, whether what kind of people, what kind of things people are looking for, and what you are delivering. So these all things are there in the risk. And that is how, if you actually understand your consumer, if you actually understand your business and the needs, you will definitely work on it and sort it.
Yes, sir. My next question is, how do you change your business when market condition or customer need change?
Could you please repeat it?
How do you change your business when market condition or customer need change?
Okay. So another important question. So see, definitely market is a dynamic market. So trends, style, needs, everything gets changed. Within proper time slot. So we have to, again, the answer is listening. You have to stay updated in the market. You have to do proper research. You have to speak to a customer. You have to see the momentum of the stock. You have to stay your eyes on the competitors, what they are doing. And accordingly we have to face strategy for maybe next quarter, or maybe next, you know the entire season we are facing.
Okay, sir. My last question is, can you share a mistake in your business and what you learn from it?
Oh, interesting. So see, in business, failure is a biggest lesson you always achieve. Like failure teaches you how you actually can, scale yourself and go to the next level. So I would not call it a mistake, but I'll give you a generic idea. Because whenever you launch a product, we should not go on assumption. Because I like a product, or maybe Asgar like a product, and we feel like, this should be a perfect hit in the market. We should not go and launch products like this. We have to work on proper data. We have to use analytics. We have to work on proper research. We have to understand the cities. We have to understand the different type of markets, and that is how you launch. And I personally feel uh, biggest brands, even, they actually fail if they are not doing a proper research. Their biggest, if there are multiple case studies, in the market, like people have launched multiple products but they fail. And the reason behind it is this: because they don't work on data properly, they don't use the data properly, they don't understand the market, and they fail. I think this is the biggest lesson we have.
Okay, thank you, sir, giving me your valuable time.
Thank you, Asgar.
Thank you, sir. Your insights on navigating strategic implementation has been really helpful. As a PGDM students, diving deep into this conversation just leveled up our understanding of real business world. So, one final takeaway from you for our listeners is being a real business owner. If you have to give one business advice to PGDM students like us, what it would be?
Okay. So, Kathy, I feel being a new future of India, uh, you all should understand the consumer needs. You don't get into the fashionable, fascinating products. Don't get into all those, kind of products and launch that. First, understand what kind of problem people are facing. Maybe it's into the traveling, maybe it's into the fashion brand, maybe food industry, anywhere. You just try to solve that problem. If you are able to solve that problem, you are through with the ideas, because there are multiple ideas in the market, but a lot of ideas are not focused in terms of what we have to solve as a real problem of the consumer. If you solve that, you're sorted. So I think that is my biggest advice. If you are trying to start your business, always try to solve the problem and don't get scared of launching any business. You are just sorted.
Thank you for sharing your expertise and story, sir. That's really inspiring and inspiring for aspiring PGDM students like us, so we can implement your expertise in our nearby future, so we can grow in our career. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. Bye. Take care. All the best.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. It was really great connecting with you. It was
Thank
really
you.
We
insightful.
really learned a lot about the business, how actually it work. It's a
Sure.
insightful session.
And
Thank you,
sir, thank
Mansi.
you for connecting with us in shorter such notice.
No problem, champs. You all are the future of India. Anything for you people. Most welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Enjoy the
Thank you,
day. Good night.
sir.
Bye.